I want to apologize to Fambule massively because we run late so badly and will not be able to provide an excuse. But in the service of nation, I've been doing another program and I've been here for delay. We guess them who we get at this program today. However, there's a saying that better late than never. So today, the 25th of April, 2021, here we are. Anyhow, the program, they go on. So they ask Una for share the program. This evening, morning, afternoon, we get 5 powerful guests, I believe, 5 powerful guests from different parts of the world. And all of them happen to be women of substance, if I may add, okay? And they stand for something, as I can see the title already, where they talk about with their country, Mama Salone, at 60 years, in 2 days' time, 48 hours, if not less, will be 60. What better time for bring women and come together for can't tell we about Salone at 60? And key on top of the broadcast tonight will be the word patriotism and love for country. So let's take me time, let's see whether I can ask them for introduce themselves, because when I came back, so you can miss the name. So let us start from, I believe me right. If you can introduce yourself, Sister Aisata. Hello, Sister Aisata, you hear me? Hello. Oh dear, don't tell what's gone wrong. Hello? Okay, again, I think we get audio problem. Now understand why, because we did a test just shortly, just a short time ago, we'll do a test and everything will look okay. Obviously, this is electronic. One moment you're fine, the next moment you're not. Yeah, the audio is dead. Okay. Hello? Okay, again, I think we get... why, Sister Aisha, not hearing me? I understand why, because we did the test just shortly. Just a short time. Una de hearing me?
Yeah, me de hearing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, they ask for introduction, nobody know they respond. Sister Kadi, okay, I will start with you. Sister Ngadi Kamara, can you introduce yourself, please? The audio is dead.
Okay, sure, Mr. Kroma. Thank you for this opportunity. And again, we apologize to all man for the lateness where we start. My name is Ngadi Kamara. I'm a Sierra Leonean. Currently, they reside on the beautiful island of Bermuda. But despite they are they so far from Salone, my heart's Alton dinner Salone. So I'm very happy to be here and part of this conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me turn to Sister Mimi.
Hi. Good
Hi
afternoon,
there. Yeah.
Everybody. Good morning, depending on wherever you are in the world.
Yeah.
My name is Aminata Say. I go by Mimi. A lot of people call me Mimi. But also Sierra Leonean born and raised and totally in love with Salone, standing up for everything Salone. I'm happy to be part of the conversation. Again, I apologize we start late. You know, technical difficulties sometimes, but we there so and we're happy to be part of the conversation. Sierra Leone at 60, we're proud and we're hopeful. So thank you.
Yeah. Proud and hopeful. Thank you very much for your understanding. Let's go to Sister Bob Kande. Sister Bob Kande. Okay, maybe not the I think we don't lost Sister Aisata, but we far into time, so we will just continue. Okay. Yeah, go on, please.
All over the world. Hello? Are you? Okay.
Yeah, continue, please. Would they hear you? Yes, would they hear you?
Family Munado, I name Haja Maribo Kande, Mr. Nasalon Pukin. Okay, Naya born, and I grown to me. I thank you for being part of this program today. I feel honored for saying and calling for be part of this particular program.
Okay.
So
thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, my dear sister. Thank you so much. Okay, like I say, Fambulem, once more, we're about for kickoff. Apology for beginning the program late. We don't lost most of Una, but notwithstanding, we know say thousands of others go watch the program subsequently. We lost two of our guests. Hopefully they will come back. We know say the internet problem with Sister Bob Kande, it is shown on my screen, is going to be a bit temperamental. So I hope so we will show understanding as per Usai Ide. So please understand that. So I will begin with straight away because I don't get any guarantee whether I will not go lost them. Sister Haja Bob Kande, we first of all, by virtue of your profile, know say you've been born at Cambia. And you're not a high profile person anyway, because looking at your profile, it's like, wow. So you go school in Cambia, just like you say, just not born and bred, and you married, obviously. But waiting, I find major upon this conversation here tonight. We want to talk about Sierra Leone at 60. Let's see somebody that asked to be admitted. Let me just see who is that. Sierra Leone at 60 is, you know, well-decorated Uma Nasalonde. You know, well-decorated Uma. Oh yes, I must say that, and I'm very much impressed. I want to jump straight to 1995 and shortly before 1995. Because for let you arrive Usa you did so, these are some of the things where I come for learn about you. Now you been get table na Garrison Street.
Name.
Yeah. So probably as a boy going to Cathedral Boys School, maybe I passed by your table, but then a small talk. But the point here is you now woman maybe in the sell vegetable. And then you rise up gradually, became the Secretary General of the Garrison Street Market.
Yes.
And you're now co-founder of the Market Woman Association.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this particular rise from Lily Cambia, outside you born, go school, end up in Garrison Street with table, became a co-founder, and also many other awards then we follow. We big pass with you at the talk so. Give me a little bit background, please.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I tell God thank you because I'm able to achieve all the things the way they talk so because I get basic education. So it's very, very important for me because that's not be springboard. Because I get basic education, I'm able for galvanize myself for that reach society. Yeah. And I sell vegetable. I sell everything. I don't sell mortal man, but I sell everything for that look after my picking. I get 4 picking, 3 boys, 1 girl. I sell a wirong. If you look my profile, a wirong. I sell different size. Now during Akibo betting time, where be the true market in the streets, where be the old way. Now the people then where I be the bara, where I buy an offer. Why they pass salary ground, they say give me first or sell if you say they can't pay you. Now they make me I get small place na salary ground where I begin for selling. So that's why I come. So from there, the mommy when I be the mommy queen at that place there, you know able to read and write, you know go school. So I can't find out for say if they get plenty customer then. Whether they come out Guinea, whether they come out Kabbalah, whether they come out upline, then they bring plenty markets panel. But because you know they read and write, when they bring the markets they come, people they can't take them. Because we take like a Saturday, yesterday for payback next week Saturday. Where the payments can now, so man they pay. And not able to identify the game because you know get records.
Yep.
So now they are kind side. I say, well, anytime that they can hold on market, anytime that they can hold on market. Now I say the next week, when you bring your markets come, wait for me to come. When I come, me go write for you. Would they take them? How much they take? And who side they? So I can gain secretaryship na salary ground. Okay. So from there now, he say, Mama, dear me piggy, be me secretary. Because we don't come to me, so all this month here now, another guy like again. Okay. And the people the money and they see me profit. So now so I take get, it make me for that be secretary for himself. Before now, he go recommend me at city council, Freetown City Council for say, this woman I want to be part of the same man committee in the market because we they can be cost to we if they get problem with the market to them with the kind side for mediate. What you know able for mediate, they refund a city council. That's how we operate. Yes. So in 1995, where the woman they go around for talk about democracy, the benefits of democracy, then they go market to market. And then they where they go to we, let me talk. And I tell them, say, we know they join the game because then at least they go school, not go school. Tomorrow, when they go down get in position, then leave, then it will be over. Yeah. Yes. So the end say, now one of them say, Zana Bangura, Zana Haja Bangura. Now I say, no, if that didn't happen, when I support we say, we get civilian rule. He said, me, I go help when I them when I form some to go make when I benefit.
Okay, Haja
so
Aminata.
For Marketing Association in 1996.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Haja Marie.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Haja Marie. I really appreciate this, and you're very critical to this. Of course, every one of Una, very critical to this conversation here tonight because we talk about patriotism. I want to jump quickly to another sister, and it seems like now so powerful people now they talk to so today, and that sister now Aminata R. commonly known as Yerip an introduction, Mimi. She happens to be a writer and a social justice advocate. So what we also know about the sister is that currently they work on creative non-fiction account that will, talk about in life or experiences now Africa or people in life and experiences in Africa, America, and Asia. Okay, and is a graduate of the Anderson School of Management at the University of New Mexico. We're not going to say it on the first paragraph down there. And she's also a master. They hope for go read a Master of Liberal Arts with concentration in creative writing and literature at Harvard University in the fall of 2021. Huge talent. Sister Aminata, let us not say it all, because I want also come to the Huffington Post where you don't showcase essay and day. But before then, tell me a little bit about this writing business where you do and the social justice advocate where you be, if you don't mind, please.
Oh, sure. Welcome to Aisata and Anita. I see them don't join, ladies.
Okay.
So writing. I always don't be a storyteller. I've always enjoyed moving in spaces where people and they take anecdotes, thing and we then go through and bring and can to life. You know what I mean? So I can tell people and say, I know sabi make up story, but if I hear you story or if me experience her, I will express her in a manner where somebody go read them, it will left an impact, it will make a difference. So just having that since I'm small, I've always been, I would do drama, debate, then kind of thing, and they always been expressive. Me and Didi go school, so I can attest to the fact, always with a mouth on me, always, current affairs, then kind of thing. So, Wakam America, as we know, in Sierra Leone and many parts of Africa, a lot of times what parents can do is for sort of prescribe the path for the Peking. Hey, well, now for go school, now for do this, now for do that, now for do that. But I always know, say, I get this creative thing inside me, and I always wanted to harness that. No able to, and so I went to school and did whatever I did. But then now that as I got older and able to get the chance for do what me want for do, I decided to go back to waiting on my passion, which is writing. And so I'm working on this project again, hold other degrees from school, but I say, now go back and go make sure I get the letters behind my name. So I'm not going to just talk about writing, I'm going to be about writing, what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'm starting later in the fall. But going back to the question of the social justice piece, I know me a person does not ever let person take advantage of person. And I don't care what sector it is, whether we talk about going against the patriarchy, which is in itself, it's separates monster Nasalo and Africa. It's not a Sierra Leonean problem, no, it's also an American and Western problem as well. Yeah. But or we talk about somebody take advantage, woman they against woman and pitted against each other, if you know what I mean. So I don't like person take advantage one person. So of course we know say the world would now would they see the advantage, would they see how it's young, would they see how every day, would they see how against we own picking them people that we look like people that we marginalized, we underrepresented, the advantage boku. And so because I have the time, I dedicate myself to working for or giving marginalized people a voice the best way I can. I did one in small units as I can do an asylum. I did one in my community. Now I also tap in Portland, Oregon. I'm not afraid for using my voice. Na blessing where I feel say I get, and I use it to the best of my ability for stand up for people. And so that's what attracted me to where ISATA contact me and say, can you, first of all, did he tell me, but he say, can you do a video? And then I start contacting me, we, you know, say, you can lend your voice to this. Any side way, they when I perfect for Umande and for every team up, you know, I did before. So Sister Kande, I just want to give you, I'm going to give you your props right now. I mean, it's so amazing. No, seriously, say in the spaces that you move na salon, you're able to motivate people stand up for your company, woman, where you see them, they take advantage of them because in all school, because in all handbook, because then one can't do pan. You're able to team up for, if we're able to do that for we self, as Sierra Leonean women, as African women, as Black women, it go help. So I go tap it first because it's a long conversation.
Yes, it is a long conversation indeed, but one or two key things we'll pick up from there is like you try for lending voice to marginalized people, women, Usai you come out, and all over the place. It's a kind of passion, it's a calling, if you like. Fambulem, two of we other guests and non join with, so I go allow for let them introduce themselves and just go straight to the point after they don't tell me who they are. Let me begin with Sister Anita Koroma, I believe. Sister Anita, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
good evening, I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, tell Fambulem about who that you be. Yeah? That's all right.
For join.
That's okay.
Okay, na me Anita Koroma, na me na the country director of Galcha Network Sierra Leone and the CEO of Eco JC Pad and La Poche Enterprise. My background is on social work. I train and live in England for 17, 18 years, coming back home gradually. Now, the 10-year back and forth for me, I do it, I do look on girls empowerment. As the previous speaker don't say, when I talk about social work, it's all about social justice. In a possible, like disadvantage. You ask me for Musa, I begin my activism at the Chelsea from the day where they born me. I think I'm a month than first born before I come. Because even as young as I was, I always fed for men picking them, where then they treat them badly, and they fed the adults where they maltreat them. The granny get for end up for they beg them because I did all the things and then I did threaten and say, I wish you not can me go for men. I say I go cause trouble to the one old people. Yep. So when you ask me about my activism, I did tell you say for where small now beginner. I hate for see somebody take advantage or punish somebody around me. You know, I didn't like that. So for me, I don't be around like for 10 years in Sierra Leone, coming back, having this Galcha network, Sierra Leone, focusing on girls' holistic empowerment. Then I walk around the women as well, a bit of voice, young people, I support them. All sorts, I look at who's I able, I help. Now I make now holistic package they look at. So not only that, and embark on social enterprise.
Social enterprise. Sorry, I'm not mean for coaching. I mean, just feel say you don't done. But this Gauja project we talk about is only embodied inside this social justice business in terms of fairness, just like how you've been born, which you decide for do at that early age. That's what you're still doing in terms of your organization.
Yes, I am, because what we talk about, when I talk about holistic empowerment, I look at education, I look at the right and voice for girls, I look at skills, I look at health, everything we encompass around it for make the girl become a powerful woman like my sister. We just don't talk Mimi, say don't that they talk. Now the platform they give them, say I have a story, I need to share it. That's what makes me who I am today. I don't want you may feel disempowered because you poor. Poverty is not an excuse. You can jump around it. Yes, I born and meet small money, but it left me but I focus. So I tell the girls and say, I want you can pass me. Because when me be in the gap and not being me kind, way they guide me, way they be a role model to me. Now that when I get we as women role model like Honorable Isata Awede and Aja Marie Bob Kande, of course she's my mom. Now one of the people who sits on my board, where I don't think say in need for they near me since I come back home. They get a lot of experience, they get a whole package for you and guide me around the country. So I see and say, get love for country, get this passion. We all, they look at being a patriot. Not to one day, I don't employ thousands of people. I don't empower thousands of girls. Either I'm directly, indirectly, and still I have a social enterprise wherein they look at bringing more women and girls so maybe they will get their own money for men and come up from all sorts of
we will get into the depth shortly. Let's just go finally to the final guest. We double down on this particular show tonight as the co-host of the program. Sister Aisat, are you there?
Good evening. I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Very loud and clear.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Can you tell Fambulem a brief introduction, if you like?
Okay, so I think I'm probably the least talkative person here, based on what I've heard so far. Thank goodness for that. So as a co-host, say not for talk, but cool for listen and facilitate more. So that would work out perfectly. Aisat Akabia from Lonsar and former member of parliament for that area, which will be constituency 50. But now in my own position, I'm a lot of former things. There are lots of former titles, former this, former that. But I can always tell us, the current Aisat Akabia, because the work and the action, what they do, is based on my character, not based on any title or position, because I think my character is so much more firmer, stronger, and bigger than any title. And we don't hear a lot, even just in the introduction, about social justice. So it's no coincidence at all that all of these women are working in that arena, whether in their professional capacity or just in their personal capacity, because this is who they are. And this is also who I am. For somebody who's very quiet, we're not a talk boku, we're very shy, for end up in politics, now mistake, but not to mistake. There's no coincidence in life. And it's all about your upbringing. So when you don't spend your time as a very young child in London fighting for justice on a London playground, it not make no surprise that you fight for other people. And that's how justice starts. You find out that there's just something you go through personally that you say, this should not happen to anybody else. And from that moment on, you become a fighter, whether quietly in your own way or loud and forward in other ways. But everybody somehow within you, something personal, if you go back to your background, now they make you decide, say, I know they ever stand beside somebody, they take advantage for somebody, regardless of what's happening. And that's how we all started out. So I am here tonight, really, really excited about this conversation. You don't even know how much. And I really hope say the delay not cause any too much inconvenience, and we'll hopefully be able to gather listeners.
Yeah, not at all. And many thanks for that. And gradually the numbers are building up. Normally it will have gone up, but people, there are many of us where they broadcast. But notwithstanding, subsequently, I suppose the faithfuls will come over. And Fambulem, today, the 25th of April, 2021, this now on a platform, the then and now, they bring Kanto Una. This part, Una already the introduction, so Una know exactly where we now stand. Because prior to these introductions, I know one or two of these women, but not as much as I've just known them within the last 5 or 8 minutes of introduction or talk where we don't do. So we talk within the context of patriotism and love for country. And that field we don't get from the introduction, you see how relevant these people are in terms of the society in which we want to talk about. So I'll go back to Sister Bob Kane. Is it Ami again, yeah? Marie, let's just note that down. Aja Marie. That's why they make mistake with the flyer and I didn't tell me what. But let's not make that mistake again. So anyway, on a more serious note, Fambulem, Aja Marie, you explain your humble beginning, how you end up in a Garizin street with market, table, so you are a hawker, you sell vegetable. What a story, in other words, the humble beginnings, up to a point where you can get a national decoration, which I'm quite impressed with, all because of the kind of work where you've been to do. So earlier on, when you don't introduce yourself, you say, when I go introduce you, you then became a person of voice for reckon with now society. Tell me much more, because it all boiled down to justice and fairness, if you want to call it social justice. How much of it did you stand up in the society for? The market woman, the normal, or you go beyond that?
Well, I think I go beyond that. Although I not forget my base, because like when they talk about social injustice in this country, if you come on, they say clear, why you know they hide. So now based on that, I'm able for kind side for let me self make my own contribution na my own level. And I think it's very, very important, because if you look at Sierra Leone, the people there were not able to talk for themselves. Then beaucoup pass the one where they talk for themselves. So until people are able for kind side, for the intervene, some of the things the way they happen with them. Like you say, I begin, as I say, that I begin. But again, I think for let somebody achieve something at the world, you get forget the willingness. You get for know your priority, you get for know you focus. If you know what you want for do that you like, that will help you for let able for achieve what you for achieve. So that's so it happened with me. I begin a salary grown, as I say, I begin say I go to the council, say people that begin to identify me for go participate different areas. So now based on that, I go on radio, always I talk to my kitchen there. Before that, I be the type of social like what the company they talk. Because what going out of for buy, we don't get money, they go bara. And what you bara market, they add the price for you. Say they sell it, they put the money, they get profit, they get for it.
Waiting at bara market, waiting at bara market. Book and don't for you, please. Let all man understand.
Bara, I need a big bara. Like so now I buy this drink here. Me don't buy them. I buy them price. If somebody can forget take them, you want to sell and get, and they put profit for now. But because you don't get money for pay me money in a hand, sometimes you say me first I go sell and they sell what come and they can pay.
Okay, thanks. Thank
so
you.
They pay the money cash. So the one they pay the money, once until the market go on there, then they like double the price. So if you go bara now, you want to sell an at again, it could be very impossible for you to make profit now. And the Sunday, they eat by the money. And we go for go ban out of court now, you go now for go pay money, no they again problem not for them. Halala they say place, then they go to police, then they put them in a cell. So now from there, I saw that all the money they go to the court. The company all day together. We want buy mag before you go bara, and they give the money. Also with interest, so and they give the money, you buy. When you buy, you can we don't. Oh, we don't even say together, you give me the money back. I try for if you already so that that's what I mean.
Okay, Haja Marie. Quick one. So how this thing lead up? How this thing lead up when you can't join or became an advocate for civil rule, election before peace? How you manage for can't be Kakatua inside this business here, because this is quite important.
I tell you, what would in a market? What would in a market? There be the as a government inside 5 years. You know that not so. We get 5 governments inside 5 years. Yeah. So we try for a civilian rule. So when they say election, they say election before the been too money too. For do election or peace during the NPRC time, they be identify people around all over. Grassroots people there. Okay, me call them community people because grassroots they grow. Community roots, you get cassava, you get potato, you know that's in they use for grass, you know they grow. So they go identify. So for going to bring too money for the people then go say, me, I want election, or me, I want peace. So now so we go to the market for tell them say for explain to them the benefits of democratic rule. We pass the military rule because military by decree the rule. But in democracy set up now, it ruled by the constitution. So you don't go just books of you do a fire, a killer, or you do anything with impunity. Yeah. So if you do something, you can't go to the justice system. If you find a guilty, either then find out or the jailer. So continue that they say until we're able to succeed, forget the election before peace. So that's occur inside. So after that now, the US embassy look me, they say, would they can you go America for let go learn about leadership development for women? So as I take her inside the portal. So where I go now, where I go America now, when I come, but before that in 1998, when we restore democracy, they do a national conference about what are the root causes of the war, how we make sure for that it not happen again. And maybe they that's then they are not able to the women's movement at that time. They say because of if I see a vocal about, they say now you go present for we.
Okay, so you go
so
on for
on behalf of women of Sierra Leone.
Yeah, now you present Aja Marie. I want to let you pause right there, just for the interest of time, because now four of now, and like Sister Aisata say now in the least talkative now this platform. So we got to give people the time, here for them talk. Let's just revert back to Sister Mimi quickly. I want to revert back to Sister Mimi. And Sister Mimi, here is the point here where I want to come back to you, and this is quite interesting, that you don't showcase essay them inside the Huffington Post. And when I look inside the Huffington Post, I do really bit research before I can sit down with you. There are many things where I learn, like the people way don't they write for the Huffington Post, waiting the Huffington Post mean, and the Huffington Post poses itself as some kind of liberal now for media. Is that what attracted you to them? Give me an understanding, please, if you will.
So, Huffington Post piece, what was it?
Yeah, what was it exactly?
Possibly like what, 6:something in the morning on November, what was it? So it was elections were November 8th, where Hillary won, I think November 9th or something. So the Wednesday morning after elections that Hillary lost. And that was just a short piece that I wrote of just my thoughts, because at the time I look at America and I'm like, wow, we make a choice basically because the country, the majority of the people in vote, the way they vote at the time in favor of Trump, because in my opinion, and just on some facts and things that we don't see, they came to a conclusion, or they think, say, America was becoming a little bit more brown, more Black, more moving away from the very Eurocentric dominant culture type thinking, you know what I mean? So that's what that piece was about for Huffington Post. But yes, I was attracted, or I'm attracted to liberal platforms. Again, like I say, coming in as somebody and I'm not saying that to say, like I only pick a certain side and I stay on that side. Yeah, but I know that for me, what's important now for make sure the playing field equal for all men.
And how you became a member of the critically acclaimed Stanford Alumni Writers Critique Group? This is quite posh, and quite uppity, as soon as I say on that side.
Has information on me. Okay, Stanford. So I now go Stanford. Stanford actually, so they get they had a writers critique group, which as a writer, most writers know they join critique groups because it helps when you write every week, every couple of weeks, you put your stuff out there. And you critique and get feedback. So I get a friend we go Stanford, we introduce me to the person they run that group and say, this could be good for you, forget a bunch of writers. So it was a group of 9, 5 of them are already authors, and then 4 of are aspiring authors trying to write. And so it was just a kind of a sounding board, forget. Right. So I was invited by a friend. So you turn in a piece for critique, and then if they like it, you get invited. And so that's how
Many thanks for that. At least I don't get a feel for both.
Yeah, but more should be focused to Salono. This is not to me.
Okay.
I'll come back by the program. Then we'll go do the writing piece. We'll do the personal.
Oh yeah,
piece.
absolutely. I'm quite interested in it, because I mean this is astounding for a Sierra Leonean. We go very much like for talk to you, and talk to Fambulem on them basis then. But today we want to talk more Fambulem, digress a little bit and then come back to the main point, which is about democracy, which is about patriotism and what it is and love for country. So I want to take this question straight to Sister Gadi. Sister Gadi, what do you understand? First of all, I'm amazed that a Sierra Leonean find himself, herself, all the way in Bermuda. I mean, tell me a little bit, how come you find yourself? I'm just out of curiosity. How come?
Well, Antino says, Salomon, we like Waka. We do all about.
Okay, I love that.
It's so funny. Yeah, we'll be young, go the area Bermuda Triangle. We don't really think much. But as it can be, I can't find myself now on there actually for the last 25 years. I was married to the Bermudian where we meet now university in England. So that's bring me back. And it was a good move. It's a nice place to live.
Wonderful. We can see the expression. We don't say it nice.
Good.
What's your thought process about patriotism? Give me some idea what you think patriotism is.
Sure. Yeah. Well, first, I say I'm really honored for being amongst my fellow women of esteem and who have accomplished so much. So now, real honor. And Mama Ajay in particular, I just want to say we appreciate you and your efforts. And I'll take away to these community roots, because you're quite right. We need to use language with relevance to we. So Prince, for come back to your question with patriotism, I think now more than ever, that's something where we all need to focus on and reflect on. Salon at 16 is such a great opportunity for we all as Sierra Leoneans, whether within a salon or with the outside of salon, we also work with the outside, for really reflect and see who side we don't come out and who side we they go, and waiting we individually able contribute. That to me is what patriotism it is. It's also for say they look for, so waiting government able do for we, waiting salon able do, waiting the opportunity with salon they bring council we need for stop and say, well, waiting me able do. Let's say another at the country, but what are able to contribute? Sometimes then are just through reconnection them, sometimes then are through direct action. So that's what patriotism is to me. It's always maintaining the connection with your home country. Because at the end of the day, like we go till we go, Salona Uda we be. Now they we ancestors then come out, are they we people then come out. We're not able to hide from that. So it's always asking, okay, what's me able to contribute to my community? And not forgetting that.
Brilliant. Sister Anita, I'll take the same question to you on what are your view about patriotism with regard to we country Sierra Leone. You're on mute. You might mute.
I did talk about being a patriot, like waiting my sister say, but they go deeper into that, like it's not about waiting your country do for you, but waiting you they do for your country, and waiting we go do for we all from Makubete we country. Patriotism, you for die to self. What I mean by dying to self, pull the self-centeredness in you. Me. May it be the country, the people. Once Sierra Leone, you look at the bigger picture. Patriotism is about selflessness. Waiting at selflessness. You did it foresee that the right things that happen in the sense you own self come off from that selfish. You come for make you able to be selfless, foresee that the correct things that happen. Patriotism is about you being the one way they look at the things way good, where then they say integrity, where you they do things where nobody know they see you, but you know say it good for where they do for this country, for you people, for yourself, any side way they now that way they look at patriotism.
Okay, many thanks for that. And I will go to the co-host shortly before I yield the floor to Ram. Go and ask Afam the same question as to how you see, Sister Isata, this is for you. How do you see or perceive patriotism, contextually speaking, to we countries alone, as opposed to how the other guests did not answer? What do you think? Sister Isata?
Mute.
You mute. Yeah.
Yeah, as I know, I actually take an opposing view. I want actually delve into what they don't say because they've said it all. And if I begin with Usa Anita stop, there's a quote here from William H. Burnham. The essence of patriotism is the sacrifice of personal interest for public welfare, for the interest to public welfare. That's exactly what you don't say. You sacrifice your own personal interest for the benefit of all, for the good of all. That's patriotism. Ungadi say patriotism is contribution. So you contribute to your voice, you contribute to your actions, you contribute to your advice, you contribute to your love, you contribute wherever you find yourself with whatever you have. That's patriotism. And really and truly doing what is right when nobody's watching is something that Anita defined also. Doing what is right when nobody's watching. So when there's no title, there's no position, there's no cameras on you, you still continue to do the right thing. That is patriotism. And for me, patriotism, not to blind following, not to for say, oh, I love Salone, like as much as we all here love Sierra Leone, but we love Sierra Leone enough to challenge her. We love Sierra Leone enough to cry for her. We love Sierra Leone enough to want to change what is not working. That is true love. But for say no more, and so even when you're no good, I think that's not patriotism. So patriotism for me is taking all the love that you have and hoping that that country is the best country in the world. You know, they like them or love them because they're the best country right now. But you love her enough to work, to help, to assist, to contribute enough for her to become the best in the world. Yeah. There's another quote on patriotism which says patriotism is, your country is wherever you're well off. Your country is wherever you're well off. And all of these voices around the table, we don't go somewhere else and come back home or are still living somewhere else. Then don't decide, say, we don't decide, say. The country will say we fend we safe. The country will say we do better. Not to be country. That country way stronger, but we let campus mark still up to this day. That's our country. That's real patriotism.
Yeah, and I will push further. I'll stay with you, Sister Isata. Yes, waiting all the guests and say, including yourself, is your view about patriotism, and it sounds so very right. If we can go back to dictionary meaning, talking about love or devotion for one's country, that's patriotism. And if we can push far or talk about the importance or significance of patriotism, we can equally talk about a feeling of attachment, a feeling of devotion to country. So you dey sleep, now your country. You dey grab, now your country. And Sister Isata, you make a brilliant point. So you act for avoid the politics, even though we try for avoid them tonight. But what's your feel because I sense a hint of that or tinge of that in waiting you've been to say, if you just support one and not support the other, or instead of you support as a whole. Waiting are you general take about the country today, because today right at the center of this discussion, 60 years on, in a few days or few hours, 48 hours or if not less, we will be officially 60 years old. Patriotism now then at the center, because if we devote ourselves to the actions they were supposed to take by virtue of patriotism, the country will be moving forward. Waiting are you take against Sister Isata in terms of devotion on the part of its citizen to the country on the basis of patriotism?
So the love for Sierra Leone is personified even here tonight on this forum. This conversation is about patriotism. Otherwise, nobody's doing. They dissect, they try to foresee the way forward. At this crucial time, the timing of independence always they give me an opportunity for reflect. because everybody now, because of the date, their time, their attention, their celebrations or their reflections are all focused on Sierra Leone. So we use this opportunity because everybody focused on Sierra Leone for see how we will start a different kind of conversation. And I believe say this conversation not to just for talk and go home. This we try for find a way for see waiting different what we're able to do so that things then will be different in the next 60 years. But starting one day at a time, starting with tomorrow, knowing that 60 years is a very long time. But waiting we want for see happen tomorrow will not be don't they happen before. Or waiting they happen yesterday, well, no one see in kind again. And that building this month, next year, next 5 years to the next 60, now like a building block. We can always talk now, Salon say if the foundation not strong, the also they build on sand now rubbish. But we continue insistently for build a house on sand. Why do we continue to do the same things and expect different results? This 60-year mark, I think, now a great opportunity for make we do something different. And I don't want to lose this opportunity. But if we not talk to Sierra Leone, sometimes now we own small corner, we get this idea as we 5, 6, what are around the table right now. Everybody don't showcase what they don't do. But if we not talk to the citizens, if we not talk to Sierra Leone so that we can create a collective voice and then a collective action, then possibly the same things will continue to happen. Mami Aja Marie, just in a short statement, waiting at our right. They talk about community roots, of course, which everybody don't pick up. It's so brilliant. But it also tell we say 5 governments in 5 years. Let's reflect on that. This is our history. This is not a story. This is not a movie. There was a time when we had 5 governments in 5 years. This is now the level of instability what we country don't go through. Let we not underrate the effect of that. And let we not underrate the possibility of that happening again. This is the discussion here today. There was a movement for elections. There was a movement on elections before peace at this time when we had this tumultuous time of many governments. Then we reflect on in the 60s at independence, there was a movement for elections before independence. So if we really read into them, learn from them, we're going to move on in a different way. But if we continue to brush them under the carpet, then we will really continue to move in the same trajectory, but somehow it's like we're children with our fingers crossed in the dark, hoping that we're not going to bump into a ghost. It's not possible. It's not tenable.
Okay.
This is not the way to move forward.
Okay. Apparently, this is not the way to move forward, which means that we're moving in the wrong direction. It will be simple as that. And I'll take this over to you, Sister Mimi. If we're not moving in the right direction, we are definitely moving in the wrong direction. If we continue for the build we host on sand, which means that we're not going to make any progress, it will continue for collapse. And every time we have to start from zero again. What's your take?
This is it. All of what I've heard resonates and makes sense. To answer your question, I take them back to the conversation begin, patriotism, right? Until and unless we can operate as Sierra Leoneans, where they look at what we can do, like how, excuse me, Sister Anita say, what we can do for change, regardless of the seat of politics, regardless of who they run things. Me as a Sierra Leonean, waiting a my own contribution. I think Didi touched on that a little bit. Waiting me can do for change things. If we not reach that point, because you know what you were there in a power where they support to, you were there on the other side where they oppose. To a degree, you oppose safety, you cannot oppose past the first thing you need for the first never put Salon forward. You were in a power. You cannot say then cannot oppose me. Are they do waiting they not the better the country because I get power. I go abuse them. I go do what I want. You understand? And we have had iterations and cycles of the same. The one thing that has been missing, not just for we didn't at that place where they say, regardless of what happen, whether on this issue, whether I'm in charge, whether I'm not in charge, whether I'm in opposition, not in opposition, what is the best way moving forward what I can do for the country, for the common good, for the benefit of all man? Not so that one way now for me for putting in my pocket. Not so that one way now for me and my family and my sister picking and for benefits. Not so that one way now me and my wife and my own family no more asabi. Lord, just look at that person way, you know, not get much. Way sometimes in it try, it do your own share, but you know, life again all kind problem. You understand? If we not do that, the key, if we understand patriotism, this thing way I started to talk about earlier, and we sister can they touch on 5 years, 5 different government trouble come back in the country. That's not the one thing with me as a citizen. I pray for Salon say we not get to that point again. We Kuskas Canada country, they will begin back again because it will take us back farther than if we even take that we'll spend our 11 years the fair to yourself. That I can guarantee. You know what I mean? So whatever it is we do, we get for work together for doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely, you make an absolutely brilliant point there. And I want to take this to Haja Marie. Haja Marie, from what I heard the previous speaker and say, it's like with a struggle uphill, the direction not seem to be right. All this.
Can everybody else hear? I can't hear.
Can you, me they hear you, you hear me? So, okay, that's good. No, somebody just speak briefly. Anyway, the point I've been trying to make Haja Marie is obviously one of the problems when we get in our country today is one of corruption. And corruption can also be factored in with the lack of patriotism, because if you are a patriot, just like Sister Mimi say, and the speaker before Sister Mimi, is you go dedicate the cause to country and avoid for just put in your pocket and member the country first. Now you've been there now the Corruption Commission, you serve as a member of the board. Whose kind of experience where you take from the way you go compare to the now? Because even now we get corruption board. What are the difference where you see and what you go advise? Haja Marie?
Thank you very much. Before I go, I hear you.
Yeah,
before
go on the question.
I go to that question, I just want for add to this issue of patriotism. Okay, for say patriotism, people get for prioritize Sierra Leone, get for prioritize your country. If you prioritize them, plenty see where they happen, so it will happen. You tell me about the issue of Adena Anti-Corruption Board for 10 years, from 2007 to Tonwa Commodity. And me, as far as me concerned, the issue of Anti-Corruption Commission in work, it gets a lot of challenges. Because, first of all, the dependency within here, you know, the work, the independency, because according to the Act, the Anti-Corruption Commission for be independent. Then for take a decision on their own, think their way, then find out for say, this is not right. Then for take that particular decision day. But as far as me concerned, sometimes the commissioner or whosoever they work there, different things, they can try, but they get for make sure they get independency. And how they will get independency? As long as the appointment of that particular commissioner, it will come from the head of state. It not going to be independent. It not going to be independent. And it's all patriotism. People get for prioritize this country. Like we say, we don't get 60 years. Me, 2 years before independence come. That means 62 years they pass. So, me a senior citizen of this country, And it look like for say, people then get for sit down together for reflect. Also will come out. It's very, very important because I started to talk about in the election before independence, election before peace. Yes, because at that time they will be there between the deep blue sea and the devil. We all know for say a military rule, a civilian rule is better than a military rule because I make the argue so. Even though the president get a lot of challenges, but he go to argue. In the military, you not go argue. Now, based on that, the people let me say, let we go into election so that peace now a process. Peace now a process. And how go achieve the process of peace until people show patriotism of this country. Not to gentry. Not to be going get money. No. within a money man, to patriotism. People and they were that poverty, but it's self-respect. The community know it get in a patriotism of this country also. So until we get for look at the thing in the so many things that we don't go wrong. Where this particular discussion also. Now this now half normal because it deeper past the kind of the talk. So based on what we understand. So we get for look at for people where they think alike, like how they think. Anita know me, Asata know me, and then took me around Mongadi and Mimi, I know me and you. They know for say, first of all, when you are patriotism, you get for be, you want for be what? Yeah. If you say yes, yes. If you say no, no. What you don't able to do, talk, not make hypocrite now. Say, I'm not going to do this. And always try to protect your country. Now, the secret, now, do, because, you know, come on, they say, I love Sierra Leone, I love Sierra Leone. Where you go, where they give money, chap 80% if I go big, so not call it patriotism. So, the issue of patriotism, therefore, look at her, reflect her, and one thing over thing, for say, they are young generation. Okay, people them where after the war, from when the war begins, 30 years, last month, 23rd of March, make 30 years when they fired the first gunshot in this country. They're picking away them born up till now. They don't know what to talk about. So, as far as they're concerned, the violence they see. They see violence, they see blood, they see poverty, they see corruption as a national anthem of the day. So, what should we go do for make sure we don't carry age? We don't understand how we make contribution for make sure no time for reverse, you know, or knock reverse for let or reverse or no we review what in the thing then we make sure utan like utan so. Sometimes I can feel say I fail in my life because I spend all my life for make sure for let I make contribution for this country, let move forward. But it's like you know get full stop. Yeah. You just go every day till you unfold way. You know, fight for Yeri, fight for C.
Okay,
so now very important thing to talk about.
Yeah, very, very important. Absolutely agree. Very important indeed. That things are unfolding. We're not fine for Yeri, we're not fine for C. Sister Anita, things that they happen, we're not fine for Yeri, we're not fine for C. And when they talk about patriotism. And Fambulen, just before I pose me a question to Sister Anita, I just want to let you know, say today, we talk to 5 powerful women. When I say powerful, when I read the introduction, this is not me making it up, when I hear for myself. And then scattered in different parts of the globe. Very powerful indeed. On the 25th of April, 2021, this is the then and now. And Sister Anita Koroma, things that they happen, we're not fine for C. Things that they happen, we're not fine for Yeri. Salon at 60. In less than 48 hours time, this country the country Sierra Leone will be officially 60. When they talk about democracy and when they talk about patriotism, love for country, we don't look at waiting patriotism in and some of the problems with patriotism. Let me talk about solutions a little bit. What do you think say now we need for do in terms of this patriotism? We don't define them. What do we need for do for help the country?
Well, for help the country, one, we get for be honest. Honesty not day. People are not stand for speak the truth. Until we speak the truth, you call things by their name. The truth, not truth. Wrong, not wrong. Right, not right. Until we get them right, now we bring them. That's a change of mindset.
How can we? Speaker, because you get a very powerful voice. You get a very powerful voice. Sorry, Sister Anita, not mean for badging, but you get a very powerful voice. But there has to be a multitude of your kind. Because the previous speaker, Sister Haja Marie, one thing I catch up and waiting is say, very profound. From the time when they fired the first gun na Bomaru to just basically less than a month ago, 30 years. And the Pekin away born within that period, they know nothing else but that period. Not like a mere you where they reflect beyond. So that has a lot to do with finding a solution. How do we convince this new mindset, this young age, this baby boomer age, for understand about the way forward from experienced people such as you and the rest of the panel?
Well, from what I don't begin to tell you, say, we for be honest, we for speak the truth, Wrong is wrong, right is right. You know, get two names. We go back to the drawing board. That's the job I'm actually doing. I tell you, I work even with young people. I always tell people, even the Truth and Reconciliation documents, people, even at real age, we meet up all internet. I born picking within that period. Now it's going to be 30 years. And no way at the top. We fail for educate the young generation. We fail for go back to this peace reconciliation document where the TRC pool, the recommendations are where they give, we batch them, people are not getting scarce over them, because when I go to the UK, I read and study sociology, and I go back to the history of England. Now there I learn beaucoup things them, but England. So why they talk if you say me in a part of England? But because I go educate, they help me for understand how them be the rule, how them been there from the history, they start from scratch, them suffer before them become who that them become. They begin the whole history. But for we, when it happened at today, and now we are reading next minute, all man don't forget. We know all them documents in there for bring them back to the learning institution, for won't make us a civic education for help picking them. We for be the role models and positive ones where this generation they look up to. No, we are not. Everybody just care for himself. Wait till I get for the day. But I tell you what, I keep telling people, when I started coming back to this country, my life and time I live and for all the generation when I small beginning. People are, oh, now they can't die for salon, you go able. I say whatever I'm doing as a single individual. The little I do, I know say I must change one life. So for you, now you mindset that one day. For me, I believe in change as a gradual process. We fail for go back to history. We not get history. People are not great for talk about history. Go back to the museum, the one museum where they make. Now funny, I take kids to that point. I take them to historic places. I carry them where I say, man, who is there to tell us all the whole story? A small space. You the wait past which man can't tell you. We can do it. I've done a lot of seminars for young people, the children that I work 5 minutes at it in Apna assembly. Why don't talk on? All man they run. I want to be my mommy, be my this. I say no, I want you to be more than I am because I'm not being get possible like this. So we fail. All waiting to contribute. We the adults fail this young generation. We corrupt their mind. All waiting, and the bad things are waiting and see, nine and get. So we made them because speaking the land through emulation. What is see 90? What should get the 90 generation get? So now we go back to the drawing board. Now we go do our signage way.
So Sister Ngadi, let's go back to the drawing board. And that drawing board day, it seemed like it got to be a mighty piece of drawing board because things are so sort of scattered. That's so much so that the center really cannot hold. The concrete self not look the hold. And I like the way Sister Anita put on just now. It makes the problem for sound as much as it sounds. Go National Museum back there, and I'm waiting and can't tell me where we own history. How do we understand these things? So give me a picture of how we can chart our way forward, how we can enlighten these new minds, them like what Sister Anita say. For let we discover ourselves as a people and change the mindset, and probably we will rise from these ashes. How do we go about this, Sister Ngadi?
Yeah, sure. So as Sister Anita and everybody else, they talk, myself, they reflect. And not true say, usai we did today, we're not anywhere close to we potential. And even, I assume say for, we already on this call with generation, if we look our entire lifetime, we can even say, we not definitely see progress until we even don't slide back from where we have been picking them or where we parents and have been picking. So it's definitely an important and relevant question for make we they ask ourselves at this juncture, because clearly, like what in Honorable Aista say, what would all they do all this time, not a work. To me, it comes back down to frameworks and systems. What are we fundamental systems and will we get in place? And if I break it down to specifics, there are certain things that we need to put in place in order for make we able build and progress. One, democracy as a framework. we therefore really understand what democracy mean. Not so just election. Democracy is about everybody, one voice for one person. At any point in time, as a Sierra Leonean, we all forget to say whether for able register with satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the way where we leaders that they carry the country go. So democracy are beyond even the vote of the ballot, even though we know that the importance we cancel party politics. It's about our ability for voice, with opinions, either through the media, through different, we now get all the social platforms, etc., without fear of recrimination. Now, we ability for launch peaceful protests then, for petition, for ask for referendum, for for write letters, do letter writing campaign. There's so many aspects and elements of democracy where even we as a citizenry, we need for educate ourselves on so that we could fully leverage that day. Secondly, equality. We therefore as a society address the inequalities then, whether or not from a patriarchal standpoint between man and woman, from people that way more economically wealthy. We're not able to run with society that way. Equality means that we all equal, the same. We all know, no matter who side we born, no matter which family we born to, no matter which education we get, no matter which gender we be, etc. Equality. Thirdly, equity. Equity means as a system, again, these are fundamental frameworks in which I feel as a society we're lacking in, that would help us along the way if we look at other countries them which they're not able to achieve. Equity means access. Everybody get equal access to the same services, the same opportunities, whether it's educational or economic, etc. We're not discriminate on any basis. There's equity. Fourthly, unity. And this is a big one, Honorable Isata, and the theme, patriotism and common ground. We know say in Sierra Leone, we're so divided, unfortunately, whether it's along ethnic lines, whether now party lines, and we know say we know they go before. As a result of that, we can't. If we're truly patriotic and we put country first, then it means we have to be united under that mission. Unity critical as a framework. Again, this is not a systematic approach where we can take for bring ourselves forward. And then the final one, which again, all man don't touch on, particularly with Anita be they say, but right is right, wrong is wrong. It's our values. As a people, if we not get values, if we not get values of integrity, if we not get moral codes that we all they agree to and live by, then the outcome, now basically we too they see, meaning each man for himself, meaning that if opportunity there are able to cut me on half, and they do without even thinking twice about it. Yeah. Meaning that, a big man, I see young Pikini and that, forgetting age, forget his status, and they go tap day, and they go tap and day. All of that comes under our values. So to me, these are the fundamental things that we need to go back to. We need to go back and look at the frameworks where they govern with society or lack thereof if we truly want to move forward.
Wow.
So I get passionate when I talk about these things.
I do as well, and I feel it. I feel the energy, coming from you, and the hair at the back of my neck. Actually, they stand up because I do get into the same mode. And powerfully said, I'll take this to Sister Mimi. Very powerfully said: patriarchal, equality, equity, unity, and values. I mean, when you embody all of these together, it is so powerfully said. And I wonder whether you stand with them, and if you stand with them, again, solutions. How do we put these practices into solutions? Sister Anita talk about sincerity. Nabimi keyword, I've been in another platform, because the framework is there, but we abuse the framework. The principles, the procedures and processes are there, but we tend to abuse them and look the other way, just for take shortcuts. Your thoughts, please, Sister Mimi.
So, Didi, well said. Me and Didi go to school, so I know say we go.
Really?
When they call this school in Imnaya, because they were
call them.
We are convent careless. We just showing a small bit somewhere.
And at the same way, convents now be convents, by the way.
Yes. You want other school pretend for jealousy, but hey, it's all love. It's all love. But so with this, Didi, you like right there, I was just like, drop my conversation over, that's it, right? Those are the fundamentals. Those are the fundamentals. And then fundamentals, and if we get them, they help we with waiting. Also, we begin this conversation, patriotism, where inside a pride for country, they come inside. Yep. What we want to preserve Bosalo. Waiting at the thing and we get for show. How will they put the best foot forward? If we did, every human being, no human being, no day we no want validation. No human being, no day we no want for being included. No human being, no day we no want for letting treat unfairly. But if you get same values, then the inclusion, equity, you know what I mean? Things are equal for all man. I don't say, hey, bo, I don't get to, but now for just once no more, I go able to get access. You know what I mean? If down the day, if we get pride inside, we safe. We're able to preserve we relics, we preserve we traditions, we preserve we custom there. So that not to other person you own, Naingo can take me to that point where I go lost me on pride in Salo. Every side I step, I go na the international sector, I dey inside Salono. If I'm proud of Salono, I know say, why they inside Salone, they treat me like say myself na part of the family, you know, not to just that man where they pass na in Benz, no, na the only person for Toku. Not to that. Botswana, many years ago, waiting and do. Then create town hall, town center type style, where anybody, it no matter, you background, either you build side, come out to side waiting, you able to add to the conversation. It is your right. You're not afraid, say person therefore can't hold me if I talk. But now, where, you know, you talk, it become no problem. Where you this, you know what I mean? So we lost so much valuable time. Are we? What are we investing? What are we investing as alone? Would they invest? Are we protecting the girl child like we did the touch on? Are we protecting women? Are we investing in women? Are we investing in our youth? You know what I mean? Where the education? Where the pipelines for leadership? Where? Those are the places where we should go. Yes, and it's right. And I say this not to you know, throw shade or this is not I know they talk but anyway they happen now. I'm saying 60 years, the history. Let's look at the history. The proof is in the pudding. Yeah. 60 years. We self as Sierra Leoneans. Now so we want for the. Now so we want for when we think of we country, see other side, we say, but they don't try. Then we own nothing. No. You know, we should put these things in place. Invest in women. Invest in women so we don't have to fight these battles. So the lady women they on. Matter of fact, she's off now. Haja Kande. That one they talk me at the eyes. I like, wow. Just at your level, she was able to look at things, assess the situation, and say that this I need for do. Now so I need for being a community together. Imagine if we get hundreds of Haja Kande there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's investment in everybody, like how did he outline, honestly, that's where it's at. Everybody has to feel like they have a voice around the table, that they can come to the table, period. That they can sit at the table and talk. And you know what I mean? I suspect this is some of the work you're doing, Sister Anita, which is that one-on-one, you look and say, okay, let's move, come on now people can't see Usai, you know, things are working for them. Let me take some of these things, like you say, you can answer, you study, you learn, you take and go to your country, you try for implement. Now that we need for them. I think that's how we begin with the solutions. Pride, first of all, for understand, say we are worthy. We are worthy as Sierra Leoneans, we are worthy. We're worthy for putting the time, the energy, the effort we take for make sure say every Sierra Leonean feel like say they are part of the conversation. If we not try for do that, if we not try for preserve, waiting our culture, waiting our own strengths, what we get, because we do have them. We do have ever so often, we're all in our social media where they see, you go see that one picking, that one bobo titi, somebody will go say something, do something, they work on something, you're like, wow, there goes a star. But what do they do then? What's them people and they? Where do they fall? Do we tap into that, harness and say, okay, boom, this is somebody where we can get other youth for gel with, for work with, for take with to the next step. These are the little things. These are the little things we need to do. But it starts with that pride. Pride for country. We can't leave and be.
Sister Mimi, wonderful. I mean, Somebody just put in the chat room what a rich panel, and what a rich panel it is indeed. Every person at this panel, the guests them know exactly what they talk about, and Fambul and for una we just to join. This is not the Then and Now platform, and today we talk about patriotism and love for country. And Sierra Leone at 60, hovering over us is the entire country at 60, and we talk about patriotism. What do we need to do? How do we need for show that love the 90 sisters and they talk about? Social justice, whether or not that patriarchal system, everybody is involved. We talk about equity, come with clean hands, be sincere. We talk about values, respect for one another. We talk about unity. These are the kind of things then that we need. But in the absence of these things and lack of sincerity, we are not going to move forward. And the question, Sister Mimi, before I go to Sister Aissata, is just a quick one. I take a hint from what you say, and owing to the time, I suppose that we come back from, you know, in terms of we country 60 years ago, then and now, look at time. We seem not for don't make much progress, even though we fought a war for put the building blocks them back into place because we misplaced them at some point. So we fed people and die in major countries such as where you are in the United States, in Britain. All of them went to war, but at some point they made a resolve, say, well, out of these ashes, go grow a great nation. We haven't done that, and we're not seem for to do that. What's your thoughts? My
thought is there's things where, and I some of them are able name. I can pinpoint and tell you a name then, right? I know for silly. I don't America, not 30 year maybe. I know for still a but woman and they die with and go born picking.
Yeah.
You understand? We still talk bumbuna. You understand? No, go far. You would able name the thing, eh? We still not on we go salon 2018, we still get our water, we go line for water, we take that dial rubber, you understand? You know, I'm like, some of these things, we still, they do denting and that's where my frustration is. That's where I am asking myself, say now, you talk, the lights not there, the internet still shaky. What is happening? You know what I mean? Again, like I say, this is no slight on, you understand, a collective responsibility now I'll take.
Okay.
Because our practice, our Sam, our preacher, now so for practice, right?
Absolutely.
Right in salon, if for be a collective responsibility, or for say, but denting so for try to fix them now permanently.
So make I take this issue of collective responsibility to Sister Aissata that we don't serve inside government proper. Sister Aissata, you've been a government minister, and not only a government minister, but in the House of the People, the big house, Parliament, where we see in some ways today. During your time in government, share your experience with where we can learn from. Were there any positives that could be potentially taken from during that period for we can come into the present, or inculcate the values and principles the way the other guests them don't talk about, whether equity, equality, some value system, some love for country that we are talking about, patriotism, that ultimate sacrifice. Was it there then? Is it not there now? What can we do? What did you do during your time? What did you see?
So I want to say thank you for this conversation and these fabulous guests, because all waiting and not talk. So there's so much to unpack in this conversation.
They have to come again. They definitely have to come again.
There's so much to unpack in this conversation. Let me tell you now, this collective responsibility, if I just jump off from that, and we can take it to who we are as a nation, what is our national identity? If we take collective responsibility and we have common values and we decide, because it is a decision, we decide this is who we are as a nation, this is who we want to be as a people, and then we strive for that. But it's like, as Anita say, without sincerity, without honesty and the fundamental value of integrity, we're just lying to ourselves. So we wake up in the morning and we say we value women. And then for the last 1,000 years, women's position has not changed. children are still slaves, waking up in the morning at 3 in the morning to fetch water while adults sleep, walking very dangerous roads at that time, facing physical danger, and potentially not being able to go to school because they are the workers in the house. Yet we say we value our children. We invest in what we value. We invest in what we value. So if we really value our women and our children, it's time to start investing in them instead of just talking about it. But when there's no sincerity, we talk and do something different. So what we say and what we do never matches because we really don't mean it. And that's the bottom line. And after 60 years of repeating the same things, we have to really come to the conclusion that we don't mean it. If we really mean to change Sierra Leone, if we really mean to develop Sierra Leone, the first thing we will do is exactly what Ngadi has highlighted here. We'll create systems. Those of us who are about systems thinking, we know when the system does not exist, everything you put into it is just not by God in power. You hope say, well, we put the slingshots, we stone the stone, go for those sides supposed for photo, because there's actually no system to make sure that it works. So if you want to make change, you have to create a system. But you know why we don't like system? Because if we create system, we're not going to bypass the system. Yeah. That means that if I don't talk, say, for make I go from point A to point C, I cannot bypass point B. That one day, now the worst thing that's alone, because the bypass now will leak. So if I create a system where bypass no D, then they make sure say it no work. Then they make sure say it dismantle. Because then the self-gain, the personal gain, the personal profit, no go day. How do we create a people that are really about public interest? If you move into public office, an elected office, running for elections, you are there to serve people. So if your intention is not to serve people, why are you wasting your time? But time and again, we get people who move into public offices for private gain. It has to stop. It has to stop.
Yeah, but saying it, Sister, I'll push back on this little bit. Of course, it has to stop. And I believe there is a consensus on that it has to stop. But
and if we're going to stop it, we have to make sure that the leadership and the followership both take responsibility. Those of us who are voted for must be held to account, but those who are voting should not be part-time Democrats. You have to vote, and then you have to monitor, and you have to assess, and you have to really make sure that you hold the ones you voted for, you have to hold them to account. It's not because it's your brother or your sister or because then they talk your language. Vote for somebody. We get for do something for we.
So make a push back on that a little bit. Now, only because of time, and again, because of your experience, you don't serve inside parliament. Now they admonish the people and for vote for somebody, we go do them work. But what about parliament itself? Share that experience. You've been inside parliament. So if the people were to vote for somebody, we didn't expect to do something for them, but they end up inside parliament where the parliament not sincere, we're supposed to do the things for the people, then nothing eventually happens, sister. Isn't it so?
The only way to make that happen is to make sure that the change starts from the bottom. Those who are taking responsibility to vote as electorates, they're not enlightened. We, the political class, don't play a tremendously negative role in the last 60 years in making sure we keep the people down and making sure we keep the people in the dark. If me they come, and also they come with the politics of difference. I actually want to do the work. I actually want to change Sierra Leone. I have a vision and I have a personal mission for Sierra Leone must reach her full potential, and I want to be part of that process. Then you move into a community that does not vote based on issues. Our elections are not based on issues. Our elections are based on tribe, are based on personal knowledge of a person, based on familiarity. So the nepotism, the cronyism, the tribalism, all the isms, and they're not a stop. We're not able to get rid of them. We therefore really make sure we identify these challenges and do something constructive to make sure that we get rid of them, not for continuing to sweep the problem under the carpet. So from collective responsibility, now I say the leadership and the followership, Because at certain points in the equation, you're either on one side or the other. But if we as 7 million people make a decision as to who we want to be, then we go identify the steps what we need for take for make we able get there. Anita talked about the history. If you don't know the mistakes what we don't make in the past, you're liable to repeat them. And for make we not repeat them, we get for dissect them honestly. We get for speak on them at an open table and decide that the nepotism, the tribalism, would they left and be. This is a national decision. This is how you build a national consciousness.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's go quickly before I go to Sister Anita. I want to ask Sister Mimi a quick question on the basis of which you don't talk just now. So again, the reason why I want to ask Carmen just a short input now because it contributes to major paper than the Western world. So like when you write then Lily piece then they whether an essay like pieces for posts like the Huffington Post. Would you write something about your country on how for develop and deviate away from the current system into a system where go bring values and equity and respect for one another? Will that have an impact on waiting to happen back home?
Yes, I would. There is, if you go to the Medium pieces, I think it was the second or third one that I wrote for Medium was having to do with the sexual misconduct in Sierra Leone. I don't know if you saw that, maybe Isatai you did. So yes, because I use these liberal platforms, I know they left Salon Bieno, I know they left the patriarchy bien, I know they left the misogyny bien, I know they left the fact say we know they invest and protect we girl child, say we know they invest in women. I know they left Andy bien because in the video I sent to Isata, I say this, as American as I can be, I'm a salon person first, and I already make apologies, but Andy, like everybody will know me, circles that I move in, you know, say I'm a salon person first. So, no, I would not address other issues and leave my country behind.
Okay,
and
I'll come
and
back.
I really want to say something on Mimi's account, even though the article is on American politics and American elections. Yeah. I think with Trump and Hillary's election, this was the first time in a long time, maybe our election process and the isms were actually matching so much of what's happening in Africa as a continent. So the white privilege that was voted for, and the fact that people voted out of fear of losing that white privilege, the tribalism that was demonstrated, and the sexism that was demonstrated in that election shows us that really, if we're able to analyze these issues, we can learn from that too. So that article is not so far removed from what we need to study on the continent based on those biases.
Okay.
Very true.
Many thanks. Yeah, go on. You want to say something?
Yeah, Prince, these class systems do exist. It's just in relative terms. They do exist in Sierra Leone as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All of these schemes where people and they use for repress people, for keep people down, they exist.
Yeah. They do.
We tend to
how do we tear them down?
Yeah, they're not.
How do we tear them down? Sister Anita, Mike, I'll come to you quickly. I mean, this conversation I find really interesting. And before I ask Sister Anita, I therefore ask for public commitment on the part of this panel. We get for coming again because there is a sense of urgency. There's a sense of commitment. There's a sense of information we want to provide for we people them, so that we people them will begin to understand. Sister Aistata just not talk about empowering the people, because that's exactly what you have been trying to get into. Because the politicians, they've manipulated the people for the past 60 years, and they always get them way. How can we deviate from that? And I think the answer then the people's empowerment, people the need for understand the politics of the country and responsibility the way Sister Anita talk about. Sister Anita, how can we promote then civic responsibility there? You know, one green person, or let me say, all five within this platform. But how do we expand with this word so others then will join the congregation and build them and let them hear above the mountains of Sierra Leone, and let we bring a change where we all they aspire for? How do we go about doing that? Sister Anita, are you there? Okay, I think we lost Sister Anita. Okay,
Yeah.
we've lost her. No, not
And
the.
have
We lost
women
her.
on the table. This
We
is
lost
really.
Yeah, we lost her briefly. So, Sister Isata, I will yield the floor to you now. I know say you are asked a couple of critical questions. Yeah, so it's over to you. Oh, Anita, you're back.
I'm back.
You disappear for a few seconds. You don't play magic for you.
Yeah, because of the network.
Okay.
This is Sierra Leone.
So I'm not sure whether you hear the question, but at least we are heading somewhere. And let just pose the question to you again quickly, which is previous speaker, them, Sister Mimi, Sister Gadi, and Sister Isata. We all agree, say the political structure eroding to the core. So not to then get for bring that change the way we aspire for. So in other words, it get for be like Sister Haja Marie say. Not to grassroots, because what he say about grassroots, that was really interesting. In other words, it get for be about the people. A people has to be empowered for understand how to change this country. How much of you, because you already don't start your work, the rest of the panel, then also they into social services, social justice, advocates, and all of these titles. How we can multiply these numbers for beginning for change the mindset. What do we all need for do as a people?
Well, basically, as we start, even wait till they do so now, now a point where things say we don't start individually, we don't come on, not only me, other people are waiting at this panel, we all don't do we own beats. I want for comeback market, we go small behind. The systems, what they talk? System, they go with processes. For the systems where they say for put in place, I tell you what, ISATA can be a witness. We have the nicest written documents, legislation, policies, everything around us. But when it comes to processes, that is the weakness. Implementation, that's not the weakness. I want to follow Candy back. Because systems get processes. The process is not the weakness. Because we lack this foundation, where they ask me now, say, how we make the foundation for more, go back to the drawing board and bring the mindset of them generation. I'm not talking about my own generation. I must say I get for live again, God knows. But for me, that is why my work starts from Peking. I tell you, say, they are my generation, not even next, now. Because if you come around Sierra Leone, you see the number of Peking them. The age, they're just limited. A young generation full of energy, where we for bring that way energy positively for impact in them, for tell them, say, we're not going to take this route anymore. We need to come this way. We need to understand your history, know about what has happened. We cannot repeat history. 60 good years, they are bloody years. We them born we raise we, now we come back by the grace of God for the way through they do. And they tell everybody that say we become what to become because God destined we for be what to be. But for we think and energy, what would they put now? I start to talk one thing, people hate processes. They hate the systems. Then destroy system because them believe say, with the system, they don't cut not the cut again, we go make four. That is the hatred, we become unpatriotic. It's all about yourself, you forget about others. So for me and you, I want to say, this nice starting points, and thank you so much for bringing us together. We don't begin to do we own. Yeah, we don't begin for bringing we own. This now a conversation we get for go. But we for live the exemplary life. I tell you, there's no magic about it. We get a change. A change starts with you individually. You go able to impact somebody around you for 10 years. I get people young people we don't study me where they with me. They know what I hate, they know what I like, they know my ability, they know if I'm trustworthy, then they vouch for me, even though I know they, then they say, Anita is not corrupt, I'm not going to be part of it. She is not going to be part of it. Young people, they don't call me, say, they make me children's commission. I tell them, say, no, I can't go, it's a political appointment. Yes, because when you decide for come and do the right thing, you get the one the way they drag you down. So not all the picking them get we focus. Now we the big one, the first one begin talk to we say. We need to say, this is the change I want. I'm gonna be the change. Then the picking where they behind you, it they learn from you. But I tell you what, it's 10 years now, coming back to this country doing what I'm doing. The old generation now, I know they are polluted. The mindsets of the young people, the older people don't corrupt them. What's in a see now corruption? What one be councillor, I can come. I can be councillor, I lie, I take, I go. Nobody now they ask me. Now they fetch down the way then they fetch for politicians. Until we go back from not a grassroots like Ajamari talker. They start the change within ourselves, then we start from bottom top approach. If we don't do that, top will never give us that change we want. I tell you what, they are all contaminated. Their mindsets are more than determined for a change in this country than them benefit themselves. So we need the bottom top approach. So some of you don't die to some. We want to go back well with the
You can't say I'm better than you've already said it, my dear sister.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't say more than you don't say. I mean, you're spot on. Very impressed with this panel here tonight, and I'm a fan already. I must say this. So when I put our works together, we go help for publicize them work there. And every time you ladies are available for a panel discussion, because there has to be consistency. We get for be consistent. The result get for be strong. We're not for waver, because the politicians themselves, most times when they do the calculation, then they say don't make them now 1 week, now 1 month or 6 months, because why? Everything else boiled to a shortcut. And we all agree, the politician, the technocrat, the educator, academic, everybody agree on that. I like the way you put Amanita. Systems are being corrupted because people and no one apply processes. And like Sister Aisata say, when you apply the process, that shortcut, the way we put something in your pockets, they happen. This is madness, and it make we continue to go before. Let me not get too emotional and passionate about this. After all, I get a very well-informed panel, and I yield the floor to Sister Aisata now, but just one quick announcement. So tomorrow on this platform, Sierra Leone's biggest whistleblower, Cherno Alpha Mba, will be on this platform on tomorrow. I can assure Una of this. Cherno Ba will be on the platform on tomorrow. I think Sister Haja, they come back inside. Cherno will be on the platform, and on Tuesday, Independence Day itself, Sister Aisata, who is on this panel, Kabia, will be on the platform again on the 27th. I'll be hosting her. So 2 major programs. For Una, we just join the platform as well. On Wednesdays, we get a platform called the Melvin Medziga Show, where we talk about fashion and everything else away from politics, even though really politics they inside. And on Thursdays, we get the Economic Forum, economic solutions to that thing that we talk about. We're on the lookout for other professionals for can do, because we get 2 days that we are available on the platform. We want to make them a 7 days a week platform. So if anybody is interested for can talk about probably law, how for cook, how for take care, how for well body, something of that kind, or this kind civil advocacy and social justice. The platform is available definitely, because this is the height of patriotism. Thank you very much. Sister Aisata, it's all yours.
Thank you. So we get a very famous saying in a salon at the area every day when you say the system not awoke or the system broke. There's no broken system. Any system, then they design them for accomplish exactly what they need to accomplish. With system what we get in a salon right now, what they give you all of these challenges is designed to do exactly what it's doing. There's no broken system. Do you hear me? There is no broken system. It is deliberate. So if we get into systems thinking, we have to create one that is foolproof. And we don't confuse democracy and politics. For some people, when they go into politics, politics is the goal. Beyond that, they don't have any other aim. There is no hope or desire or aspiration to accomplish something for somebody else. Politics is the goal, and they go in it for themselves. Democracy, on the other hand, if you have very strong democratic tenets, it will be a process where everybody has a voice. It actually upholds the opportunity for everybody to participate. So it's very inclusive. That is democracy. We're not practicing democracy. We're in a continuous cycle of politics. And we have defined it by having a vote on a single day and then crossing your fingers for the rest of the term until you can have another vote. That is not democracy. So if we're able to create a system of democracy in Sierra Leone and create a system of social justice in Sierra Leone and create a system of equity in Sierra Leone through the adoption of certain values, then Sierra Leone can move forward. And those who continue to resist that, they're the ones who don't want Sierra Leone to move. If you love Sierra Leone, you will be part of those people that will actually move it forward. And that's what we're looking for. So we want to create an environment where people can contribute, even if it's just on this medium, so they can create, have a voice on this platform, and we'll take it from there. Let's decide together as a people who we want to be for the next 60 years. Because so far, the story in Ogudo, with the change of governments, with the war, with the civil strife, with all the ills that are facing us now, where nobody has the kind of opportunity they're supposed to have because we have not created the kind of equity that we should have for them. So at this point in time, let's make a decision as a country. Who do we want to be for the next 60 years? And make that journey start tomorrow. Let me not say next week. Make that journey start tomorrow. And by Independence Day on Tuesday, let we get a critical mass of people, particularly women, who can help us move this message forward countrywide.
And if I can just come in, Honorable, exactly, I think having people coming together, like across divides, especially women, I think as women, us, we more than any other segment, well, I guess the males or even the youths, we're always responsible for the youths, of course. I think that we have the greatest chance to come together as women and cross those divides that currently keep us, keep us out of unity. So whether it's ethnic groups, Mina Timni, Mina Mende, Mina Dis, I feel say with women, we get our common ground day. We're starting off wanting better for our children. So that day alone for bring we can together. So I love this idea of this platform where we all don't come together, yeah? It could nice for see and continue similar panels then with women them. This is a start. And I think this is something concrete where we can begin now the community for make women and they come together from all walks of life, from different age group, because we need for you already youth them back. Like what Anita say. Unfortunately, we own generation, we papa then generation, we really don't feel the new generation than the younger. We need to hear from the youths and give them the chance for build bridges there. So yeah, so I'm glad for this opportunity.
Thank you. Mimi, any last thoughts?
So I would say also, I really, really am grateful for the opportunity to have participated today. I am honestly convinced that a dedication to patriotism will, with a sense of collective responsibility, go get we usari need for go. What people and what we all need to understand as Sierra Leoneans is we shouldn't be fearful to have difficult conversations. Conversations will not always be pretty. They will not always align depending on the side of the aisle you day. But we can clearly see that our country is divided. So whether you are in the seat of office or you are opposing, the country is divided. We need to stop these complete cycles and iterations of aimless, perpetual opposition where they put just affiliation, political party and waiting in front of our love for Sierra Leone. That's what we need to stop doing, because that's what we've done in several iterations, including 5 governments in 5 years over the past 60 years. This is what we've done. If we do not separate from that and understand we have a collective responsibility to Sierra Leone and to her advancement as a nation, we will do another 60, we will do the same thing. So my prayer, my hope is that these conversations, these types of conversations continue, that people have the courage to be able to participate in them, and the way they receive them, that they receive it, understanding, say, this is not personal criticism. It is just people coming together to share opinions and share thoughts about how we can move the needle for we people, for the country. You know, that is my prayer. I'm looking forward to another 60, and I'm hopeful. I'm just a hopeful, optimistic person. I've always been, you know what I mean? I tell God, thank you, Sina Salona come out, because hey, we don't like where we are now, but there are certain things, we certain thing and they will get from Salon, certain richness, certain values, like we did it talk about certain thing, but we culture, with that lady they talk earlier, Miss Kande. I was just like, I can see it now. I can see her na salad go on, they move. You know what I mean? So there are those things that bring us together, but we have to at least tap into that collective sense of responsibility. Thank you all so much. And I thank you, Aissata, for inviting me. Thank you very much, fellow panelists. You've been amazing. Some of you guys, including Aissata, I've never met. Actually, I didn't know. I met Aissata for like, what, a few minutes before we started. But I didn't know Mabino before. But I feel like I've made some good friends. You know, let's keep in touch. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you again.
So yeah, thank you so much. So when we talk about speaking across lines that divide and really bridging the gap, women who hardly know each other can come around, have a civil conversation, because the values behind the conversation is what matters. So at this table, it's not important that I am right. It's important about us doing what is right. And that's the difference. And that's where we can find common ground.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay,
Really,
Muna, thank you so much. I mean, like I say, I've won many fans, just meet some people for the very first time, but it's been interesting because the common denominator now how for make Salon rise up above the morass where we find ourselves in. And even though plenty of emotion there by virtue of the term where we born as Salon, as opposed to right now, but something has to be done. And I give me a word again once more that anytime we wanna feel for use the platform, please feel free. Sister Mimi, whenever you do your publications, please always make sure you send me information so I will disseminate them in the community. All the way from Bermuda, Sister Ngadi. I mean, at the jealous you really beat, you know, Bermuda, yeah, while we're in this cold, muggy weather. All the same, anytime you get something for Tell Fambulem, you feel like expressing that via this platform, please feel free. Sister Anita Kuruma, you've been a wonderful guest in speaking, you know, your power. I miss Sister Haja, very powerful woman as well, and well-decorated Fambule. Will not even can talk about an award that was given to Ramina National Treasure, I think Order of the Rokel. She's decorated, and people have been fine for that.
If it's getting your interview.
Absolutely, if it's getting your
I
interview,
so.
and she's a very powerful woman, because imagine from a vegetable hawker to the highest, one of the highest decoration in the country. What a milestone.
And we use the need for no, but people are like Erande. You know, they are heroes in our community, especially female.
Thank you very, very much. And it's been an interesting run. For everybody else on the Then and Now platform and the thousands we subsequently get for watch, I want to say good night and don't forget for tuning tomorrow. Sharon Oba will be on the platform, and on Independence Day itself, Sister Aissata Kabia will co-host this platform, will be my guest. Thank you and good night.
Thank you and goodbye, everybody.
Good
nice
night,
talking
everyone.
to you.
Yeah.
It's a great one. Thank you so much. Look